Hello everyone, how is it going? Now in this video, I will be talking about one of the biggest emotional disturbances that I see in humans, especially OCD sufferers, as my dog comes and joins me for a video as always. Now, the biggest thing that I see is the saying that if only this thing hadn't happened, or what could have been. That is the thing that holds most people back because they then dwell on the past. They then get stuck in the past rather than learning from the past, rather than looking to overcome obstacles in the future thanks to lessons from the past. They are just constantly dwelling on things that went wrong. They are constantly complaining and whining and venting and moaning about things and how it panned out. Now, that is not to say you eliminate any frustrations, any annoyances, any healthy regret about the past. That's how you evolve, that's how you adapt, that's how you adjust. But when you look at this really realistically and very rationally, all you got is today and what's in front of you. Let me give an example. Let's say somebody starts building a business, right? And it's going really, really well. They're overcoming problems. They're dealing with all kinds of hassles. They're employing staff. They're dealing with outside competitors and so on. And let's say they made a huge error of judgment. They made a mistake and their business comes crumbling down, right? They can see in their decision making where they went wrong and how to not repeat that, how to not redo that, how to avoid doing that in the future. That's key, okay? That's learning from the mistake. But if they just dwell on their error, they're gonna stop themselves from overcoming future obstacles because it's, oh, this shouldn't have happened. I should have known better. If only this bloody thing didn't happen. Why did it have to happen to me? Oh, I'm no good for making that mistake. That mistake was terrible. How awful it was. I should have known better. It shouldn't be this hard. I must known that was going to happen, right? And that dwelling, not only does it fuel the unhealthy negative emotional reaction, it keeps you stuck. It doesn't let you evolve and rebuild and readjust with all of life's obstacles, all of life's adversities, all of life's hassles. So in that situation, all the person would have who's trying to rebuild their business is the option to learn from it and look to rebuild. Okay, doesn't mean you're then going to be successful, doesn't mean then you're guaranteed it coming back, doesn't mean you're entitled or you're owed it back, but it's better than dwelling on the past, because dwelling on the past is just, oh, what could have been, or if only this thing didn't happen, or what shouldn't have been. All you got is what's in front of you right now, on today's date, on the hour right now, and how can I move forward from that? And that's just an example in life, but let's use an OCD example, right? With real event false memory OCD, something that I was stuck with very severely. I constantly said, if only this bloody thing didn't happen, then I can be at peace. If only this thing in the past 5 years ago didn't fucking happen, then I could be living life, I could be thriving, I could be successful, I could be happy as Larry, I could be loving life, right? Well, even if this thing happened or not, with real event / false memory, it doesn't matter because you've got to break down even if it did happen and it's your perspective on the thing that's keeping you stuck. Because with OCD, you're never going to get certainty on whether it happened or whether it didn't. But that's irrelevant. That is irrelevant because even if I said, hey, I can guarantee you this thing didn't happen, your brain will still doubt it. You will still not believe that this thing didn't happen. So it is irrelevant. You've got to break down, even if it was real, and drop this, oh, if only this thing didn't happen. Well, it did. So how do we adjust? How do we move on? How do we get over that? Well, the answer is this. By changing our perspective, by chipping away at our rational beliefs, our catastrophic thinking, our rigid black and white demands, our overgeneralized thinking, our self-downing, I'm no good, I'm worthless, I'm a terrible person, our life downing, so my life is ruined because of this thing in the past, my life is over because of this thing in the past, my life is not worthwhile, now it's meaningless, now I can't enjoy anything, I'm undeserving. All these ways of thinking, all these beliefs that you're holding, that's what's keeping you stuck. Not the thing in the past, that's what's keeping you stuck. Your current beliefs, your current perspectives. So, what is crucial is looking at how we're viewing it today, looking at how we can shift our beliefs and change our perspectives, which lead to healthier emotional reactions. And not only that, it helps us move forward. It helps us get on with our life regardless of the thing in the past. That's not to say you completely disregard the thing in the past. You can have healthy remorse. You can have healthy regret. You can have healthy guilt. You can have healthy annoyance, healthy frustration. Maybe you've made a mistake, right? Let's say you've made such a big error, you've gone to jail. Now, what is beating yourself up endlessly going to solve? What's that going to do? If you're sat in jail right now going, oh, you stupid idiot, I should have known better. Why did I do that? Oh, what a twat that you are. How could you have done something so stupid? That doesn't mean you go back in time and not do the thing, right? All you can focus on is how you look to rebuild, how you look to learn from where you went wrong, to not reoffend, right? That's all you can focus on. If you're serving a 5-year sentence, you'd have to think, right, all I got is I get up the next day, I can have me breakfast, I can try and live the day as much as I can. Yes, your life would be very limited, of course. You're not becoming delusional. Your life would be very limited, but it's understanding that all you got is in front of you and you'd have to look to adjust to that and adapt to that. Because if you can't, you're dwelling on the past, which leads to feeling of overwhelming chronic guilt and shame, depression, low mood, panic, anxiety, all the unhealthy negative emotions which you don't want to be feeling. And that's with anything. If you lost your job, if you lose your relationship, right? You can just dwell and dwell and dwell and moan and whine and go, oh, for God's sake, this bloody thing. Why did this have to happen? Well, it happened. How do you move on? And this kind of mindset shift changed my life, right? Doesn't mean I just go around recklessly making decisions, not giving a fuck about this, careless about that. That's not true at all. But the approach is much different now, because even if I made a wrong decision, I know I could learn from that wrong decision and therefore overcome it, and it could spur me on in the future, right? If I was so scared of making a mistake, I wouldn't make any decisions. I'd be indecisive. I'd go, ooh, I don't know about that. What happens if I can't cope? What happens if I live my whole life in regret and guilt and shame and panic and anxiety? Then I would make no decision. And then my life would just stagnate. Okay? So it's so important as to how we view the present, okay? And not just dwelling on the past. Whenever I hear, if only this thing didn't happen, I say, okay, let's say it did happen. How do we move forward? That's all one can do. You can have the healthy guilt, you can regret something, you can condemn something, you can rate the thing in the past, you can measure the thing in the past, you can have a view on the thing in the past. But as soon as you say, oh, my life's over now because of this thing in the past, then you're locked in. You're locked into that cycle of working it out, figuring it out, because your brain, your OCD brain, is going to convince you that if you just work this thing out, you will then get relief. You will then be at peace. Bluff. It's an illusion. It's a con artist. It scammed you once again, because OCD will pull you back in, keeping you in. Hey, work this thing out. Okay, let me work this one out. This one's different. This one's real. This one's the exception. I need to figure this one out. Even if you figured it out, right? Even if you figured something out, it's still in the past. It's still done. It's still the same principle. Move on. How do we move on from this, right? And that isn't just move on as simple as a click of a finger. It's, okay, how can I still learn to accept myself and have compassion for myself if I have done wrong? How can I bring down the catastrophic view of if I've done something wrong in the past? Okay, not completely blown out of proportion. And also saying, where are my demands here? Am I saying that I should not have made such an error? That I should not have done something so wrong? That I shouldn't have done such a thing? Right? Because that's going to lead to the guilt and the shame and the depression and so on. So we have to look, no matter what situation one is in, of how we can rebuild, adjust, tweak things, and focus on the life that we got in front of us, right? That's all we can focus on, because otherwise you're just living in the past. And OCD knows that. OCD loves the past because it knows it cannot be changed. Okay, so we're gonna have to look at our views on the past, our views on ourselves for doing something in the past, and how we can let go of those very rigid, irrational beliefs to allow us to not only enjoy the future, but to thrive and so on, and just not let this, oh, if only this thing didn't happen, hold us back, because it will. As soon as you start going down the, if only this thing didn't happen, oh, what could have been, what should have been, let's say you made a mistake in your career, oh, what could have been, what should have been, that then sacrifices your future, because the more time you dwell on this thing in the past, the less time, the less energy, the less investment you have in the future, right? Because you're too busy getting caught up on this thing that bloody shouldn't have happened, right? And that is absolutely crucial, absolutely vital. If you are interested in one-to-one services, so we can help you break this down, especially if you're feeling chronically guilty and shameful with event false memory OCD, please email phil@ocdrecovery.com. My name's Sam. You got the founder of OCD Recovery, Rob, Nick, Momin, Gemma, and Elliot, all doing coaching calls. We can all help you break this down. So please email Phil to get in touch. I hope you found this video enjoyable. If you have, please leave a like and leave a comment for any future suggestions for videos, and I'll happily take a look. Anyway, guys, speak again and look after yourself. Bye-bye.